people are much more alone and spending much more time with oneself and often in a very confined space with people around and nowhere to go. There certainly is an increased amount of depression during this time. Through the different levels of lockdown, there's been times where there's been more of a reach out for help and at times where there's been less of a reach out for help. I suppose it depends where people are holding in this crisis, this mental health crisis. But what we certainly are seeing is that people are struggling on a mental health level. A huge trend that I've certainly noticed is what I would call the grief reaction to what we're going through. Is there've been losses on so many levels for people, whether it's actual loss of a loved one, loss of health, loss of job, loss of income, loss of life as we know to be, that sometimes even loss of identity. Someone who previously was a very hard-working person and defined themselves by their work is suddenly sitting at home with no purpose. Often what people are experiencing are high levels of grief, high levels of anxiety, an incredible amount of fear for future, fear for present. Obviously, bereavement is a result of corona, and I think that's become a huge thing that's also presenting in a therapy space is the loss of loved ones and navigating a really hard grief space, because one often can't perform the rituals that we're used to performing. We often are limited in terms of who can come to the funeral, if one can even have a funeral that one is used to. First one being allow the emotion. Ask for help. If you really are struggling, please ask for help, whether it's to people in your immediate environment or organizations and people external to the self. Please ask for help. Another important thing to do is to recalibrate, is to constantly have a sense of where am I holding in this epidemic, where am I holding in this crisis, how am I holding in this crisis, what am I needing right now. Take control over your world and the part of your world that you can control. Cannot overstress routine. Have a sense of routine, have a sense of normal. A huge element in this is hope. Hope for future, hope for self, hope for present. Hold on to hope. This is temporary. This, please God, will end. And we have to have hope for what life will look like after this. Looking for the good. There's been the most incredible good around us, incredible kindness coming out of a time like this. Good and gratitude is also have gratitude for where one is holding. The most important thing I think in times like this is to focus on not only what's unknown but also what's known. If I'm in a job and I've taken a salary cut, at least I have that salary. It's going back to what's known. We can't take control of what we don't know right now. And the last one I can say is our absolute connection to humanity, that we're all interconnected, and what we realize is my action affects the next person. But it's so important to ask for help, to name the emotion and to feel okay with allowing that emotion. We're human.